Hello and welcome to this special edition of Brass Tacks on the Road, live from outside this beautiful and majestic Vidhan Sauda building, where the big question in Karnataka is who will occupy the seat of power on the 13th of May. Which way will the state of Karnataka vote? But today, as this campaign draws into the final stretch, something very interesting happened. The Congress party released its manifesto, and straight away one big headline was the Congress's proposal to ban the Bajrang Dal, in fact even drawing an equivalence to the banned Islamist organization, the PFI. The BJP quickly latched onto this issue, saying that this shows the anti-Hindu mindset of the Congress party. The Prime Minister even saying that this is an insult to all Hanuman Bhaks, and that the Congress had previously insulted all Ram Bhaks because of its opposition to the Ayodhya Ram Mandir. The Congress has hit back and said that the Bajrang Dal and its followers do not represent all Hindus. They are an extremist minority and deserve to be banned. Will this issue turn out to be a game changer in the final stretch of this massive Karnataka campaign?
I want to make Karnataka a global Karnataka, a Karnataka with a peace, Karnataka with a progress, Karnataka with a positive approach.
बजरंग दल के लिए जो उन्होंने कहा है, एक बार कांग्रेस पार्टी हिंदू विरोधी पार्टी है, ये कांग्रेस ने साबित कर दिया है, इसके पहले भी साबित किया है।
जब मैं आज हनुमान जी की पवित्र भूमि को प्रणाम करने के लिए आया हूं, उसी समय कांग्रेस पार्टी ने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में बजरंग बली को ताने में बंद करने का निर्णय किया है।
पहले भगवान श्री राम को ताले में बंद किया, अब उनको बजरंग बली के नाम से भी परहेज। मुझे लगता है कर्नाटक की जनता इसका जरूर चुनाव में उनको जवाब देगी।
So, what kind of impact, if any, will this poll promise by the Congress to ban the Bajrang Dal and equating it to the PFI and the PFI ban? Will it tilt the scales in the last minute? Let's try and find out from two very young and articulate spokespersons of the BJP and Congress. To my right is GN Prashant, spokesperson of the BJP, and to my left, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy of the Congress party. Prashant, why do you believe that this will tilt the scales? Because the Congress is saying the Bajrang Dal is an extremist organization. Yes, the equivalence to the PFI, you can find fault with, but this is not an election-moving issue. People don't care so much about bans and no bans. They care about livelihood.
Zaka, the mindset of the Congress being anti-national is exposed here. They're trying to equate a terrorist organization like PFI, who have indulged in riots. There are charges filed against them for indulging in riots, communal riots. In fact, in Bangalore, in 2020, when the KJ riots happened, PFI was involved, and the charge sheet mentions it so. And Congress in 2018 had a pre-poll alliance with PFI and SDPI. SDPI is the political arm of PFI. So it indicates that Congress is always with rioters and anti-national people.
No, but they are drawing an equivalence between PFI and Bajrang Dal. Extremism from one kind and extremism of another kind.
Look at this way. PFI derives its ideology from ISIS and its anti-national mindset, and they want to decimate India. Bajrang Dal on the other side is a nationalist organization working for the welfare of India. Show me one incident where Bajrang Dal has let India down. No. PFI will have hundreds of instances.
Let Bhavya respond to that. Basically what the BJP is saying is this shows once again the anti-Hindu mentality of the Congress party. What was the need to come up with such a proposed ban?
If I correct you, my friend from BJP just said anti-national. So I don't understand how Bajrang Dal is a nationalist organization. A fringe organization which enters pubs and assaults women. You think that's a nationalist organization? Do they represent Hindu culture in any manner? No. For us, Congress, whether it is PFI or Bajrang Dal, for us, the Karnataka people, their safety and the harmony in the state is more important.
But they are saying,
we are very clear.
They are saying that this is once again representative of the fact that you're going after Hindu organizations and Hindu people, and therefore this is an anti-Hindu mindset.
No, I would really want him to go to a manifesto and read what we have put. We are not going to take suo motu action and just go and ban them.
Okay.
In case they do any sorts of acts, whether it is PFI or Bajrang Dal, we don't care. We don't care
PFI is already banned.
religion they want to represent, because they don't represent. None of these organizations represent any religion or the culture.
So
We are very
basically,
clear on
Congress's
that.
contention is the Bajrang Dal represents maybe 1% of extreme Hindus, and they cannot be used as representative of the wider community, including here in Karnataka, where the wider community is peace-loving. Nobody wants, all of this lynchings and killings and so on and so forth. So therefore, they're equating the Bajrang Dal with the PFI.
As I said earlier, PFI is already banned in Karnataka, so there's no reason for Congress to say they'll ban it again. This only indicates that Congress is towing the PFI's line to say, take revenge on us, revenge for us. What does it mean? We have banned PFI here. PFI wants a revenge, so they're using Congress to say, you ban Bajrang Dal. Because Bajrang
You are
Dal...
saying this whole thing has been orchestrated by
Definitely,
SDPI, PFI?
because they're the ones who are behind Congress. They had to even vacate 25 seats for Congress in 2018 polls. So therefore, Congress is acting at the behest of PFI and trying to say, we will take revenge on behalf of you. We're trying to ban a Hindu organization.
To accuse Congress of such a thing is, I have no words to reason now. There is no reason why he is even saying that. We are very clear. We want to maintain the harmony in this state. But Karnataka has always been a peace-loving state. And Congress is in power for a very long time in Karnataka. That is one of the reasons why Karnataka is peaceful. And these days you can see how the riots are happening. And the Home Minister, when he visited, the current Home Minister, Central Home Minister, Karnataka, in a rally, he literally provokes by making a statement. But if Congress comes to power, there will be riots. But Karnataka people know.
Tell me, today, for example, what the Prime Minister said, the spin that he gave is that first you were against Ram Bhaks because of your opposition to the Ayodhya Ram Mandir, and now this is indicative of you being against Hanuman Bhaks, because Bajrang Dal derives its name from Bajrang Bali, which is the name for Hanuman.
So the problem is, it doesn't matter what the name is. Hanuman is a god that we consider. Just because they keep Hanuman's name and they're actually embarrassing him by using that name, we are not going to respect that organization when it's a fringe organization. First thing. And I really don't understand why the Prime Minister today is become such a crybaby. Starting from the Prime Minister to every spokesperson, they're only crying out on these issues instead of talking about the real issues Karnataka people are facing.
What about
the
the
developmental issues?
You are not talking about
These elections will definitely only happen on developmental issues.
No, we'll talk about it. Congress thinks, and it's become fashionable for Congress leaders to hurl abuses at our Prime Minister. As we've seen what sort of language they've used, derogatory language. I don't want to repeat it on this show. What Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has used, what his son has used, what statement Sonia Gandhi made, what Manishankar had. We have seen the list, and I think it's a unwritten rule, or probably a written rule in Congress to say anybody who goes out has to abuse the Prime Minister, come what may.
No, but
and they also
taken.
go out
They're
of the
very
country
clear.
and abuse India also.
Are these the issues? You may care about this issue. The BJP definitely cares about this issue. But are these issues that matter to the people? To the people, have their life improved? Have they got better schools? Have they got better education, better hospitals? Has their lot improved in the last 5 years? Why are you not talking about that?
Zaka, we were in power for 3.5 years now.
Yes.
And as Bhavya has rightly admitted, Congress has ruled for many years, and we have seen the atrocities that have happened during Congress rule. And people on the ground will never give up their identity to say, we are okay, you ban our Hindu organizations, you don't let us celebrate our festivals, you do everything else to appease the minority community. People are not blind to those things. People are equally wanting to have their cultural and religious identity in as much as they want the development happening.
Isn't this a point that the Congress overlooked by saying that we will ban the Bajrang Dal? Because this has now become an identity issue. This has become about Hindu and Hindu pride. And you gave the BJP that issue on a platter.
I am a Hindu woman. Bajrang Dal does not represent me. I am not even safe when Bajrang Dal comes near me because they have a history of assaulting women. That is not Hindu culture. They don't represent Hindu culture in any manner. They're just a group of people who want to spread hate, and they've been doing it so far.
But doesn't this give the BJP an issue on which it
No, not at
believes
all.
it can rally people's identities and people's emotions?
No.
You have given them that issue.
The problem is in Karnataka, people are very smart. And the current BJP, all the scams, all the corruption scams, whether be it PSI scam or the voter list scam or 40% commission government, these have become the real issues today.
Okay.
Karnataka people are going to vote on these issues. They want a clean government which gave a 5-year successful administration
Please
and
respond.
not a lot of developmental
I will
projects.
answer that.
Is
Not
all of
4
this
years,
an attempt to
40%
try and,
commission sarkar.
oversee or whitewash this 40% commission sarkara charge on your government?
Zaka, I think in 1984, if I'm right,
Yeah.
unheralded majority of 403 seats or 405 seats was given to Congress.
Yes.
And what was the statement of Rajiv Gandhi on the floor of the House? For every 100 rupees that goes out from my center, 15 rupees reaches the poor. Congress is 85% commission government, right from the Jeep scam to Augusta Westland to 2G. You name the scam and Congress is in it. If there are two sides to a coin, one is corruption and appeasement of Congress.
What
If
about,
Congress
what
is a
about
coin.
the charge? The charge against your government is 40% commission sarkara.
Zaka, let me
They
explain
can't
that.
even defend
Zaka, I'll tell you that.
problem is they can't even
Mr.
defend that.
Kempanna, who made that allegation,
Yes.
met Siddaramaiah and did press conference from his house, and then one of our sitting ministers filed a case on him, defamation, saying that prove it in court.
Yeah.
Kempanna did not have even a single piece of evidence. Assuming that they didn't want to give it in that court, they could have gone to High Court, filed a PIL with a document saying this is in public interest that these
Okay.
are documents. They could have gone to Lokayukta,
Okay.
which they had disbanded,
I'll-
which now is strengthened here. Therefore,
I'll
Congress
give,
has
okay.
no moral
I'll-
right to talk on
I'll
corruption.
give the final word to Bhavya. You know, 2 weeks ago, this contest, it seemed like Congress had an edge. But in the last week to 10 days, with the personal comment on Mr. Modi about poisonous snake, and today this decision to ban the Bajrang Dal, have you given the BJP issues on a platter where 2 weeks ago you were probably leading, but maybe not the case now?
You know, just like what I said, Mr. Modi has used very derogatory comments against Miss Sonia Gandhi as well. He's called her Jussie cow. He's called her Congress ki vidwa. When that didn't matter, I don't think this matters. And you know, this is politics. People speak, and our president has come out. All India Congress Committee President, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, has come out and he's given a clarification. He even says he regrets if this hurts anyone's feelings.
Okay.
But if they all want to be cry babies by holding on to
Okay.
it, but people of Karnataka know the reality.
All right, people of Karnataka know the reality, and the people
Zaka,
of
you give me
Karnataka
5 seconds to
will,
respond to
will, okay, very quickly, 5 seconds. I have to wrap up.
See, by trying to insult the Prime Minister of the world's largest and most vibrant democracy here, by politically saying using these terms as crybaby, the mindset
5
of
more
Congress
seconds
on the
for me,
world
please.
stage is upsetting
No, 5 more
because
seconds for me.
Congress is now not able to digest the fact
5
that
seconds.
we
I
are
have to
moving
wrap up.
ahead.
Okay, I
We
have
are
to
the fifth
completely
largest
wrap
economy
up.
in the world now.
Completely wrap up. 5 seconds.
Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was also the
Blade
Prime
of
Minister
Ladakh,
of this
saying that
country.
not a blade of grass grows
First
there.
Prime Minister, and the words and the abuses they have
Okay,
hurled against
all
him.
right. I'll tell
There
you
is
what.
no-
I'll tell you what. I am convinced that this is the final leg of the campaign. Therefore, everything, both parties, both Congress and BJP, are throwing the kitchen sink at each other. But ultimately, are these the issues that matter to the people of Karnataka? We will know on the 13th of May. But one issue that certainly does matter, as I thank both Prashant and Bhavya for joining us on this live edition from outside this majestic and beautiful Vidhan Sauda building. One issue that certainly matters to the voters of this city, the city of Bengaluru, is just how broken their infrastructure is. Now, I visited parts of Bangalore where traffic jams can last sometimes even up to hours. The running joke is there is one place in Bangalore where on the other side of the flyover, if you get married, by the time you get to the other side of the flyover, you'll probably end up being divorced. I'm going to get you this ground report on what are the issues on the ground and why Bangaloreans, ordinary citizens, are not coming out and making their voices heard at this time, this one time, once in 5 years, when their vote and their voice matters. Why are they not coming out and making a shindy about it? That's in this exclusive series of ground reports. are in this main arterial road that connects Jayanagar, JP Nagar, which is South Bangalore, towards the outer ring road, towards the Hosur road, and of course eventually from there to Sajapur and Belandur. With me, B.S. Arun, veteran journalist, resident Bangalorean. And look at the picture. I mean, you've got construction debris on the one side, you've got metro construction happening at a brisk pace here, and then of course there's traffic on the other side of the road. And this is a typical Bangalore scene. There are such pockets everywhere. Why does this sort of continue to happen, Arun? We've been talking about Bangalore, its infrastructure woes for a number of years, probably 20 years now.
Yes.
But why does it not ever get changed?
You know, this road is sort of the gateway to the IT corridor from South Bangalore, from Jayanagar and from Mysore Road. You know, lots of areas connect to Belandur and, Marthahalli, Whitefield, through this road. So this road becomes the arterial or sort of, the most important connecting point from the other part of Bangalore. And there is no other big road, like this road, to connect these 2 points of Bangalore South and Bangalore Southeast. So that's one reason. And we, until this metro starts, until then we are going to have this problem. And this is also the infamous, silk board, that point.
Yeah.
Down the road, another kilometer, we'll get silk board, and that's another huge bottleneck from the traffic point of view. And this has been happening, and this is okay now today because we are past the
morning peak hour.
Yeah. And there is no rain happening.
Yeah.
Yesterday evening, lots of rain. People had a nightmare of an experience here.
One of the things I noticed is, obviously there's metro construction in most cities, right? In Delhi, in Mumbai, etc. But this debris being put out on the road like this, I don't think I've seen this anywhere.
Yes.
And I think it speaks to the construction. This is also adding to the woes. I mean, if that debris is not there, you could actually widen this road. It could ease up the traffic a bit.
I think this is the major difference in construction and how the construction should not be.
Yeah.
The difference between Bangalore and, say, Delhi. Where to construct, you will never going to see this kind of debris in Delhi. They manage it so well. Whereas here, I don't think they will bother much. And people also don't oppose it, so they think it's fine. What's the point in clearing all this and paying for that also?
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down this road. This is the road that connects, like I said, South Bangalore to the IT corridor. And mind you, there are IT corridors in both directions, right, Arun? So you hit the junction. This way is Electronic City, and then further down, of course, is the IT corridor, the place that infamously got flooded last year.
Yes. It's just a few kilometers away, and when it rains, the scene is very bad, and especially in the during the peak hours, and there's a lot of heavy traffic.
How many years has this metro been under construction for?
Oh, it must be about 5 to 6 years now.
At least 5 to 6 years.
It's not complete as yet. They have given the target of, I think, next June or so. I'm not
2024 June.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether
it will be ready by then. So effectively, you're looking at one line, just one stretch of the metro taking about 7 or 8 years. Obviously, that's compounding to the current traffic. You can see this is a signal. It is a junction, of course. But you can see just how much traffic is building up. And this is in the middle of the day. But we're going to go down this road and sort of retrace the steps, if you will, of this IT corridor and why there are such massive jams across Bangalore and why this problem has not been fixed for at least a couple of decades now. All right, so we're standing here at what is an infamous location of Bengaluru city. It's called the Silk Board, and there are tons of memes and caricatures about Silk Board. So let's ask Arun about it. What are the jokes that are made about Silk Board?
Oh, there are many. I can tell you one which I remember. There is I think YouTube video, short video, a documentary kind of thing. And the wedding takes place when the couple reach this road, at the start.
Yeah.
So they get married. The fight happens, during the journey.
Through the journey.
And by the time their travel ends here, when they're about to reach their office, there is the divorce. So marriage happens, then the fight happens and divorce also happens.
Through the course of just navigating traffic at the Silk Board flyover. But has this always been like this, or is it because of the construction? I can see garbage also being picked up You can see a garbage vehicle there picking up tons of garbage from the side of the road. Has this always been like this, or has it gotten progressively worse because of all the constructions?
Progressively worse. Number one, because the population moved to this side of the city. There was not much of population here in the eastern part and southeastern part of the city. And then the IT corridor started. And then because of the IT corridor, all the ancillary units came up. You know, all these residential plots. You know, earlier it was only Silk Board. And then all these huge constructions came here. And it got worse. You know, progressively got worse.
And why don't any political parties or anyone, talk about the issues here? I mean, obviously this is a nightmare for commuters across, because you're saying there is the IT corridor towards the Sarjapur, Belandur side, and then of course there's Electronic City on this side. But no one seems to talk about this. I mean, we've had the major parties releasing their manifesto, both BJP and Congress. I don't think there's any plan here to decongest Silk Board.
See, the thing is, this is a newer part of Bangalore. And the traditional part is on the southern side and other parts of the city. There's not much of attention. Of course, there are many MLA constituencies here. Like if you see Bomanahalli and Madhepura, that way it's important. What we see is, sort of negligence of the authorities. I will give you one example, Zaka. The Prime Minister came to Bangalore and inaugurated many projects. There is not a single BBMP project.
And why is that?
Because BBMP has not taken up any big work over the last few years, and they have nothing to show. Whereas, one line of metro was inaugurated by the PM. So that shows the kind of negligence that even the BBMP has, and the areas that were flooded is not very far from here.
Correct. So what we'll do is we'll go to those areas, we'll show you what exactly the flooding did and why it played out the way it did, because only part of it was because of the rain. The other part of it was man-made, and we'll explain that to you through the course of the show. So we're just off what is called the Outer Ring Road in Bangalore, and this is where the IT corridor is. This part of town is what got infamously flooded last September with just a small bout of rain. Arun is with me, and I'm going to show you something very interesting. We've got a bunch of these constructions that are happening, and this is literally a lake bed, construction that is happening on top of a lake bed. You can see, algae and weeds grow there on the water. If you actually pan a little more further into that building, you can literally see the building's basement is full of water. Arun, this is illegal, right? I mean, this should not have come up in the first place. Now it's an abandoned building. But look at that. You can see weeds, you can see water plants. The entire basement of that building is in water.
Yeah, I think this is how a town planning should not be. This is a prime example of that. I think it also shows the nexus between the officials, the politicians, the builders, and whatnot. I think, and this is one of the main reasons why Bangalore got flooded like never before in this particular area last year.
So this entire bed used to be full of lakes, and then you just have rampant construction coming up on top.
Yes. If you see this entire area is, was lakeside areas until about maybe a few decades ago. But then
which lake is this? This is
that side, the main Agara lake.
Okay, this would be an extension of that.
Extension of that, and this is part of the Agara village.
Okay.
And from here you can see the major constructions happening. I'm sure even this part also was part of the lake area, but then constructions have come up over the years. And this is the also part of the IT corridor, which got flooded.
So how is permission even given for these buildings in the first place that they come up? Because clearly, this has been done illegally. It could be a nexus between, let's say, the builders and BBMP officials and other officials. Nobody ever gets caught for this kind of stuff?
I'm not sure, because the construction has stopped now. I'm sure various committees, which went into the, the nexus, the town planning scams. Because of their intervention, the construction must have stopped. I don't know the details of this.
Okay.
But then, why this was allowed to come up to this stage?
Correct.
That baffles me.
Correct.
And this is happening not just here, but in many parts of the city, in this area also, in this side of the town also. So, and that was the main reason why people experienced so much of problems because of the flooding.
So, you have these unconstructed or semi-constructed buildings on the one side. On the other side, you have a main road, you have flyovers, and of course, housing colonies. And all of this, at least a few years ago or a few decades ago, used to be lakes, and construction has come up on lake beds. And that is one of the primary reasons why we saw massive flooding in last year's floods that happened in Bangalore. But no political party is talking about it this time.
No, I think this is not that much of a vote-catching area, and this is where the IT crowd also live, and they don't come and vote. So why bother about them? That must have been the mindset of the politicians and even the officials. But then I will tell you one more thing about these lakes.
Yeah.
Our forefathers had planned in such a beautiful way. Bangalore had many huge lakes, and they're now history now. These lakes were interconnected from one to the other so that the flow of water would be smooth.
Yeah.
There won't be any flooding. That was the motto in which these lakes were constructed earlier, decades back or centuries back. But then because of the movement of shift of the population here, and because of the money-minded politicians and bureaucrats and also the builders, I think Bangalore has reached this stage now where we see flooding year after year.
It's the final stretch of the campaign in Karnataka, and we are coming to you live for the next 4 days from this beautiful garden city of Bengaluru. Behind me, the majestic Vidhan Sauda. You can see grey clouds hanging on top of the Vidhan Sauda. So who will have to face those grey clouds come the 13th of May? Will it be the incumbent Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai of the BJP, or will it be Siddaramaiah, the former Chief Minister, who is challenging for the throne yet again in what many reckon would be his final election? Is it boiling down to a race between the two national parties, the Congress and the BJP? How about the third party, the regional party, JDS? Is it getting squeezed out? And in this final week, this last stretch of the campaign here in Karnataka, it's getting deeply personal. Personal attacks against politicians of all stripes and hues. And there are also promises and freebies galore. But what do the people of Karnataka actually think? That is what we will try and gauge over the next 4 days. And that million-dollar question as they ask, Hawa kiski taraf chal rahi hai? Which way is the political wind blowing in the state of Karnataka? We'll try and get an answer to that question. And along the way, it's not just going to be politics. We're going to have some fun thrown in as well. We will get you to come with us to the best food places, the best eateries in the city of Bengaluru. Where do you get the best masala dosa and filter kapi? And where do you get the best biryani and the best ragi mudde and natukoli? All that and more over the next 4 days as Brass Tacks hits the road.